Serpent and Zizi. Just deal with the African fiasco. We need to get to the bottom of this here because this can have a very serious effect on our country in the future. So let's get to the bottom of this.
Well, I think, my friend, it's safe to say it's having a serious effect on the country right now. Right now, not later, but right now. Now, you know the flight started on what? November 1st.
Yeah.
With big fanfare.
Water went down plane and
big fanfare.
Yeah.
So on November 1st, 139 passengers came here. Now, you remember the news, and they were talking about how oh gosh, what he named it, Marvelous Mike, and so on, and they were involved with this. Antigua has 25% shares in this with our CIP Pasi Puerto. It was a big thing. It was to open a profitable route, bringing tourists here. Tourists, that's what they said.
Yep.
So that's the phrase they used. Tourists. It was supposed to boost our economy.
Boost our economy in that sector.
Keep in mind, because these are the things that are now going to come back to haunt them. And they had this big thing going. Oh boy, it was a great thing. And they bring in the wealthy Nigerians here to help to boost our economy.
Yeah.
Remember, it wasn't me saying it, you know.
Remember, those people were part of some Willoughby Bay story. But continue to the area.
Big thing. Great thing about that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. So 139 passengers came here, as they say, water cannon and so. Wash down plane.
Oh, yeah.
They brought them in here. Alabanjo and so went up there to meet them.
People were whisked away in dark vehicles, dark tinted vehicles. Run away 10 rips out through the gate. Gone about them business.
Question though. Of the 139 that came here, who was responsible for their accommodations?
That's one stiff question there.
So give me a stiff answer.
Me no know. Me no know. Was the government, me can ask some question with no question. I would say the government. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know. But I go back to the Alabanjo's interview. Where Alabanjo spoke about, but I don't think it was the first flight.
No, not that it was the first flight.
But wait, because they started having issues since the first flight.
Correct.
It was the first flight that went out, gave some of them ride, they're looking accommodation all over the place. It was the first flight that Mary John recorded some of them outside she place and so walking up and down, looking place for top. It was the first flight.
Yes.
The first flight, the Antigua Airways inaugural whatever flight. It was the first flight.
Correct.
So spit started hitting the fan from the very beginning.
Correct.
That's when questions were being asked up and down, left and right. Who are these people? Who let them loose in the country? What are the plans for them?
Then the answer that we got, that they had a 30-day visa to remain.
I'm asking some questions about that same visa too, because all that the government got to answer questions to. All of that they got to answer questions about. No, here's something that I don't know if I've heard anybody bring this one up, and I'm not knocking anybody. But I know usually when you go to certain places in the world, you have to take certain injection.
Oh, yeah, true.
To make sure that you're up to date with things and things.
Right.
Anybody check anything like that?
No.
Is a free for all?
Did the Ebola machine plug?
I don't know.
Did they plug in the Ebola machine?
And they walk through?
so that I didn't see the Ebola machine plug in. I'm not saying, but with news coming from off of the continent, and all sorts of different virus and all.
I never heard it being out there.
So then a plug in.
Maybe somebody did speak about it, but I didn't hear it.
Okay.
But yeah, 139 passengers on the 1st of November. Some of them, they said, me supposed to go Suriname, some for go this place, some for go that place, some for go all over the place.
And the flight was supposed to leave here and go Canada. But back to the Antigua leg of the whole thing.
But on the 5th of November, the plane come back. Empty. One charter flight come here.
Empty.
No passengers tall. When I heard your prime minister saying about
money can't come in a plane and whatnot and blah blah.
That you can't. Oh, if you think 4 billion can hold in a plane, a kinds?
Oh boy,
a kinds?
What a name, man. What?
I have an alternative kinds?
Okay.
In a plane? What you say?
I don't know what's wrong with that name, Rod.
You think that everybody's tripping in it?
No, I believe that he think that once he come out of him out, that everything gone clear.
So the plane came back here on the 5th of November. No passengers may pan the plane.
Okay.
But they said it came for the officials that came here on Independence Day.
So those officials may have one, because rich people in Africa fly because burn a boy and they won't jet. So what them big marvelous migrants and I don't want jet?
No. This is for them there.
Oh.
This is for them there. No, a plane when I stick up on there.
The wash off.
Tell you. So the 5th of November, the plane come back here. Empty of passengers. And it came back.
Repeat that again, because
empty of passengers.
Okay, good.
So if the 4 billion can hold on one plane, I'll make 2 trips. You understand?
Right.
I'll make 2 trips. So there you go. Now that was the 5th of November. 139 passengers came here. The plane come back and only the officials left.
Only them left?
Only the officials.
Okay.
Right? Christmas Eve, when everybody distracted now, who now put up curtain.
Soul Stars give
right. They get ready for Christmas. You know how we do at Christmas time here in Antigua, the tradition.
Yeah.
But you clean down window, clean out this, clean up that, cook this, bake that, mix up this.
Right.
So while you're doing all that,
then send in one.
Playing sneaky in a funny kind of hour a night. Sneaking.
That may be the morning one.
Oh, wait, no, man. I'm going to give you everything this afternoon because the people say they want to talk about it. So I'm going to give them everything this afternoon. 254 passengers coming Christmas Eve. Remember, of the 139 that came in Independence Day, when the flight came back on the 5th, empty of passengers, it took the officials back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, there you go. The majority of them top, yeah.
Those the whisk away ones.
The whisked away ones.
Yeah, what do you call them? Whisked or whisked?
Whisked.
Okay.
Whisked.
The whisked away ones.
Yeah.
Those were the 4 that I saw down at Heritage Key, walking through.
The whisked away ones.
Okay.
The plane
come back for them.
The plane come empty of passengers and carry them there. The majority of them may tell ya. So let's, for argument's sake, I'm going to be very generous and say the officials were 20. You say 4. Me give them 20.
Good.
1,119 from the first batch.
Okay.
Then 254 of them landed here on Christmas Eve.
For me, the one.
For me, the one plus that me till ya. Okay? Now, people started wondering what the heck is going on in our country. And so, folks started gathering up and discussing. While you're discussing it, because Christmas Eve, me say,
yeah.
Christmas, you have your belly full. Boxing Day, you roll off.
You get righties.
Yes, you roll off. And while you roll off, on the 27th, another flight land here.
They have one pop up.
With 266 of them.
They have one pop up.
Yeah, did I stutter?
No.
266 to add on to what me said or done there.
Oh, Father. Drink some water, because that will make it thirsty.
So do the calculation.
Yeah.
266.
Yeah, we're going to start to calculate. When we calculate today.
That was on the 27th. Now, people now start getting frantic. No, this is the normal.
Right.
Because at this point now,
yeah,
you would have heard from some of the Nigerians, well, not Nigerians, some of the Africans themselves, because in Nigeria alone they come from.
Right.
And you would have heard that they now have issues and they have concerns. And they're speaking out. Some of them are speaking out.
Of course.
And some of them are saying that, look, hey, we were told this and we were told that and we were promised this and we were promised that. And now that we're here, what was told to us or what was promised to us, not there. That was on the 27th. And so while they were speaking out, on the 29th,
one pop up.
252 of them land again.
252.
So you have 139.
Plus 139.
254.
Plus 254.
266.
Oh boy.
And the 252 that I think you mentioned first, like a while. How much you have there?
Okay, according to the 4 element, 252, 139, 254, 266.
How much you have there?
911.
What?
Radio 911.
Tal, somebody has calculated. Zizi play a game.
Yeah, play a game. Yeah, play a game because a 911, me see.
Ah, that's what you get.
Yes.
Make it get the numbers again. Somebody calculate for me.
Yeah, let me clean this here.
Clean and go again. 139 on Independence Day.
Plus. Okay?
On Christmas Eve, 254.
254.
On the
Plus.
27th,
Okay.
266.
266 plus.
And on the 29th of December, 252. Charles, is you right? A 911.
52. 911.
A 911.
Yes, 911. Radio 911.
No, 911 is help. Emergency. Help.
Oh boy. So you have this 911 in Antigua with 25 left. Minus 25 from that.
Me just say 20. Me just say 20, no?
Yeah, me know, but the minus 25, that, oh yes, the 25, but then say that they round up some, and the plane come from Portugal, what you say, without passengers?
Okay, my source is saying 30 left on the first, on the plane that me come back.
Right.
30, so minus, take with 30.
Exactly.
From that.
So you minus, minus 30. 881. So 881 LEFT, yeah. Right? So, so they're now saying to we, the people, that they were looking to repatriate right? Repatriate them back to the African continent. Then there is another talk on what you call it, the refugee.
Wait, you're
run too fast.
Too fast.
Okay, because
we are not in Parliament yet, so we can't ask the questions to ministers in there. But the People's Parliament is the greatest parliament out there.
Right.
And so since we're in the People's Parliament, we're going to ask some questions to ministers because something's not right.
Something not right there.
Plenty things are right.
Something not right there.
So we're going to be asking questions on behalf of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget and ask that too, because we hear some people talk about that the status of refuge and asylum and so forth.
In a work just upon now.
There's no law in Antigua and Barbuda seeking that. Okay? If they sign on to that for the UN, they sign to that, but they have to ratify it in our seriousness house, which we call the Parliament. Okay?
In a work just like that.
And the UN human rights body have said that Antigua and Barbuda do their refugee sub ad hocly. Well, I'm going to go into it because while you pull some stops there, right? Because this is serious.
Yeah, it actually is.
It is serious, my brother, and there is no proper explanation to all this confusion that they have created. Continue.
So let me give me questions to ministers in a way that people will. Let me take this call first and then come back.
Right.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Sir P. How are you? Good afternoon, Zizi.
Hi, my dear. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thanks.
Touch the monitor.
What my concern is...
Just touch it.
What's that?
Now you're telling Zizi, just touch the monitor so we can get like a call over here.
What my concern is, usually when people are running from conflict in their country, the first country that they leave after they run from their own country is the country that they usually seek asylum in. You're telling me that people are going to take up $6,000 to leave Nigeria are running from conflict? You're telling me that Nigeria is 668,000 square miles. Antigua can fit into Nigeria 3,302 times 0.489. So you're going to tell me you're leaving Nigeria, which is a rich country compared to our poor ass countries, excuse my French, and come here to seek asylum? Something is wrong. And whoever got the money here need to use that money and send them back where they came from. Send them back to Nigeria, because Nigeria can absorb them. We cannot absorb them.
All the money done.
Well, I don't care. Find out from where they put up.
They go shopping. Boy.
Ah, boy.
Yeah. This is raw and serious.
Here's a question now.
Yes, go.
I want to make this as pellucid as possible. Now, we understand that there were failures in Antigua and Barbuda's border control and immigration system.
Big.
The way they tried to hasten up this Nigeria-Antigua route with the Antigua Airways story. The question is, why did the government allow this to happen? They had to have known the risk that existed.
They did.
They must have known the risk that existed.
Yes.
Because if the average, I was about to say common, if the average man on the street is well aware of how ludicrous that is.
Yep.
Without any checks and balance in place. And obviously there weren't any, because Melford came back afterwards and said that after they had the Antigua Airways and brought in the first flight and some unknown if I'm lying on Melford, please help me out and correct me, Zizi.
You're not
Some unknown smaddy
Yep.
went and piggybacked on the government.
Yep.
And did their own thing. Now, here are some questions for that part. If them unknown, how the flight come here to begin with?
Thank you.
Would they not have to have filed something somewhere with the authorities?
Yep.
And if them unknown to the government, how is it that the immigration offered them the same perks and benefits that they gave the government Antigua Airways entity? If they are known,
yeah,
and if they were unknown after the debacle of the second one, would the government not put their foot down?
Yeah,
they wait for a third and a fourth before ECA go and say, "Hey, cut that crap." And now they're coming afterwards to pretend as though they're the ones who said, "Cut that crap."
Yeah, they're the ones. Yes.
Me go continue.
Go ahead.
Since the government still allowed it to happen, knowing full well of the risk that existed, are we to take that as an indication that in its haste to attract, quote unquote, according to them,
high-end,
wealthy investors at all costs, are we to take it that they're willing to jeopardize the safety and security of all are we in this country?
Are they willing to?
Are we to take it based on the examples that I just outlined there? That they knew the risk that existed, but they didn't care because they just wanted to have this route to bring wealthy people here, investors and tourists and so on and so forth at any cost. That they were willing to jeopardize the safety and security of the nationals and the residents of Antigua and Barbuda.
But let's go, and there you go. And if these people were serious, Serpy, about tourism and other things and so forth, is Marvelous Mike into tourism?
Well,
is he a minister of government in Nigeria?
No, but he have money. Hello.
Good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon.
The big problem is that they say, Melford say, we were duped.
They're duped.
How come you can be so duped when you have an immigration whenever you go to any foreign country? Number one, you have to stay where you're staying, how long you want to stay, how much money you have, so that they know that you can take care of yourself. So how they're allowed to be duped, and the immigration department come in and say, oh, they pay all their their legal fees and all these kind of things. So they think we out here are stupid, so they can feed us with a long spoon. But let them know we are not that stupid.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me continue. And if you're calling, you can't get in. It's not an accident. Because I want to get to before the news, because we have lots to touch on this afternoon. Now, we spoke about the risks involved.
Yeah.
And this grievous error that was made by the government. The government, with respect to the 3 flights carrying hundreds of people who are now all over the place, positioned to become, and don't take this the wrong way, but if you do it for your business, not mine, that's a you problem, not a my problem. They're positioned right now to become a burden on the state. The way the government operated with this thing, this faux pas, that they're claiming now was a faux pas. As a lady said just now in the call, they said they were duped. So now they want to make these people legit in our country.
Yeah.
To continue to further burden the state.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that is the case with just this year alone, how can we be assured of the integrity of the CIP program? Because with that, way more money involved.
Correct. Oh, yes.
Way
yes,
more money involved with the CIP. So if they were willing to just turn them back and let anything happen, read the 4 flights that came in with the Nigerians, well, the Africans, because not just Nigerians only, the Africans, and just turn them loose Panawi for a few dollars more, how can we be satisfied of the integrity of the CIP program?
That's another one. But then,
way more money involved in that, Papa.
But Serpy, you have some illegal flights come in the country. Right? Landing people here not once, not twice, not 3, but 4 times. Okay? And you're telling me from the top to the ground.
Well, I don't know that they're illegal. They said unknown.
If they're unknown, they're illegal because
no, they're just anonymous.
So where one was saying UFO?
Well, they can't be illegal if they pass all the tests at air traffic control allow them to come in. They have to have papers filed. They must have papers filed for air traffic control to allow them in.
But if the chief of immigration, according to my source, have said no, she don't know about that.
How she can say that when we have her on recording saying that everything was in place?
Hey,
we have her voice
saying that
everything was in place. She even, I think she went on to say, I'm mischievous.
But on the other hand, behind closed doors, you're shaking your head and saying,
well, me don't know what she do behind closed doors. She's a big woman. Me nah mind big woman business behind closed doors.
Okay.
I am studying what she does in her public capacity, her professional capacity, and in her professional capacity, she did an interview. I wasn't an interview or a statement, a press statement or whatever the case may be. But she said everything is everything. So all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed.
But then Melford will come and tell you what?
Well, you know.
No. Somebody,
you know how you go with a tangled web. You say what tangled web?
Yeah, and the bus that show one of the man. Tall.
But me go don't continue because this me want to think more before me lose my chain of thought.
Continue.
Remember, generally there is a visa requirement for persons arriving from certain places in the world, certain regions in the world. You will have a visa requirement.
Yeah.
Right, Jane Antigua?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know the government had an agenda. They wanted to open, according to them, trade and travel and diplomatic route and diplomatic ties with countries within the African continent. But the visa requirement is a safeguard because you don't just get visa just so you have to qualify. People have to check you out. Forget your visa, not true?
Yeah.
So why would they waive that safeguard that was in place to protect us, the people of Antigua and Barbuda, and the government too?
Think about you.
So why would they have waived that? That is critical, a critical safeguard, that they abandoned that.
Do we have people in government that can explain as you're explaining to us now? And asking these questions?
I don't know if they
or look deeply into it.
I know we have people who can. The question is, are they willing to? We have people who can. The question is, are they willing to? So they abandoned that in favor of this visa on arrival. But once you're done, nobody is sending you back. So automatic. So this basically just throw the visa some through the window. It's a rubber stamp. This visa on arrival nonsense.
Yeah.
Because how you can vet them now? Then done ya. Then done ya. So how you can vet them? So this visa on arrival tour is crap. It's a rubber stamp. They are already here.
Then don't land.
The plane land. Then don't land. Then don't disembark. Then don't enter your something. And the visa, quote unquote, visa on arrival was just a rubber stamp.
Wow.
Spell your name, give me again. Bokao.
Okay.
Okay, spell. Okay, good, bam. Go ahead. See you. That's your paper. Go ahead.
And Kem Uwa.
Now, use a 9/11 by your calculation. Most of them they are stranded in Antigua, Barbuda.
Wow.
Most of them are stranded here. Now, from interviews and people rubbing shoulders with them and so on.
Right.
Most of them come from Cameroon. Not Nigeria. They keep talking about Nigeria, but most of them come from Cameroon.
Okay. So those that come from Cameroon are now speaking out about their time here, and
but
the 2 days that they tell them
Cameroon have war carrying on, right?
between the French and the English.
Yeah, they have civil war in Cameroon. Which of those people who come here from the Cameroon you believe willing to accept the offer to go back home? Now they say they're going to repatriate them. If them they run away from that, which one of them you believe going to accept for your free flight for go back into that?
None.
I'll go over that again. Here's the question being asked. People pay attention. The government say they're going to get one flight or plane for carry them back. They might round them up and carry them back. If I run them, they are run from civil war and so up there.
Right, war-torn territory.
Them are dead. Them are run. Them are do anything for get away. Which one of them you think they take the free ride for go back into that?
Maybe 3.
But then was the me she gonna bed go.
Yeah, love them way.
None of them will go back on the plane.
You don't believe none of them?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
You have a kidnap them.
What?
You have to kidnap them.
Strong word.
None of them will go willingly. None of them will go willingly.
A haul and kicking and so?
You Mr. Ma?
Oh, no.
None of them will go back willingly because they're running from the war up there. I went on YouTube. I was watching it on YouTube. Oh, serious something carry on up there. So them glad for find a place for Cholan too. And they happy that some unknown, let me use that word, unknown person made it available for them to fly come here. Me even believe that them they find their own money. There's more in the matter than the person. I told you guys about the lady who was oh gosh, what's her name there? But she mean
They were the one that in the red frock.
Yes, and she in a serious problem up there.
Yes.
Wanted up there one way.
Yeah, the 69 bill.
I'm going to get into that again this afternoon. Let the people remind the people what's happening.
69 bill.
But she
Yeah, you know the red frock.
She mean So you will tell me that these Africans who are most of them from Cameroon, and you now going to tell me what you're going to repatriate them. When you realize that now work at all and tell you, hell no.
Never.
You got to tie out like you know the people in Texas tie cattle?
Yeah, kicking and screaming. Never.
We're not going. So now you change now and say you're going to legalize their status so that you can facilitate their stay in the country because you can't get them out. You don't bring them and dump them here. That's what you did. Not land them, you dumped them here. No pressure upon you. You claim, okay, we're going to get a flight and repatriate them. Then tell you, wait, who, when, never. So now you change your tone, you change your speech.
What, you don't have
and now you're going to legalize their status.
So your government do not have any stand-eye?
You hear the illegal? They've been going around because plenty of them contact me. Well, not them personally, but people who they contact.
Yes.
Say, okay, let me call somebody that I know, and they call me. They wanted to get extension, etc. All them that may come in, go look extension, and none of them were granted.
So after you not grant them extension,
which means they are illegally.
Thank you very much.
They weren't granted. My phone tired ring with calls.
So what is Paul saying about all this? I'm not hearing anything from him. Because if this is trade and tourism and also an immigration issue, I think that it's time enough that we should hear from him. But continue, my brother.
They want to legalize this thing in this country, Papa. Now, this country signed on to all kind of international convention. And those conventions make you obliges you to extend aid and support to certain groups of asylum seekers.
All right.
People who run from certain things and LBGTQRXCLW.
So
all kind of something.
So could I put something?
But remember, keep in mind, Zizi.
Yeah.
These people were brought here under the guise of being wealthy tourists.
Yes, of course.
How they come asylum seekers now? You brought them here telling the people of Antigua and Barbuda that they are wealthy tourists. So, who am I to lie? You're lying now, I am not lie then. Because the two of them at odds with each other. So, one a lie. Which one is the lie?
Well, one a lie while somebody broke the law.
So, are they wealthy tourists? Or are they asylum seekers? Which is it? So, if you knew fully well that they were asylum seekers, you bring them here, forget where from, blah, 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 blah. Why not come to the people from the very beginning?
And let them know that.
And say that. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, I know us. We would have opened our doors.
Of course, if we know that there are people that...
We would have opened our doors.
Yes, we have done so to many other people.
We did so with Haiti. We did so with Montserrat. We did so with, who else again? Cuba?
We opened our hands to St. Vincent too.
Yeah. We did. That's who we are. We would have opened our doors.
But the government...
But you lie to us.
You and lie to the people.
You lie like hell to us. Telling us about trade route and wealthy this and wealthy that and tourists and blah, 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 blah. And yada, yada, yang, 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 and this, that.
But we see anything...
and now that the spit hit the fan.
And nasting up the place.
Now you come with something different.
We need to know.
Well, questions are being asked. I'm telling you, we're not easing up, We're not easing up, Gaston Brown. You, Chet, who else? Max Tourism.
Yes, and the Attorney General.
The Attorney General.
Yep.
Who else? Because more involved. The whole cabinet.
The whole cabinet involved in this. Because they're the ones who made this decision to take our money.
And they had the immigration.
Take our money and put them in one pop-up.
The head of immigration, she has a mandate.
Yep. To protect our borders.
To protect our borders. And she didn't do so. So, she and all. Your question to answer to her, we come back.
Yeah.
Let me take a drink of water in a minute.
Right. While Serpent is at it, folks, and the people hear about asylum seeking and all the other things. We signed on to different treaties, convention, and other things. But we have never ratified certain stuff in the House of Parliament. And so it would not hold in any way for the folks of the human right body to do anything serious when it comes to that, but just to hold us either somehow, somewhere that we don't understand. So here we said protection of refugees. The government cooperated with the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, the International Organization for Migration, and other humanitarian organizations in assisting refugees and asylum seekers. Now, it says access to asylum. The law does not provide for the granting of asylum or refugee status, and the government has not established a system for providing protection to refugees. The government handles asylum requests on an ad hoc basis. All right? So certainly for those who are, the little people who are speaking about yes, we signed on to convention and the treaty and otherwise. The law does not provide. The law in Antigua does not provide for the granting of asylum and refugee status. All right? So, that's one there. And one person was saying that there were no luggage on the flight because all the passengers had was pull-on and knapsack that could hold in the overhead compartment or underneath the seat. Right? So here we go with this sort of thing. So we want to find out. Questions have been asked and questions to ministers. Who know, who responsible, and who dropped the ball. All right? So if it's the government and its agent or agencies drop the ball, we the people of Antigua and Barbuda want for now. Back to you, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no. Me not drink like a drink.
That's good. That's good. So, you pick up on me just a little while. The law does not provide for the granting of asylum or refugee status. And the government has not established a system for providing protection to refugees. You hear that?
Oh, boy.
So, continue with this stuff. Drink another...
Me buckle done. Me buckle done.
Okay.
I guess this can hold me out until 5:30.
No problem.
And to those folks who wanted to make to weigh in a little bit, just hold on like a bit there, cause me gather my thoughts, and when you pull me down on different road, me get
loose. Shaky. Yeah. Let's go back to
remember Gaston Brown's favorite word, transparency.
Right.
So, if we are to accept that he believes in transparency, as a result of this error that they've made so far, why hasn't the government reached out to the stakeholders of the country on a course of action? How should we be handling the stranded Africans?
Okay.
You ever think about that? Why not reach out to the stakeholders? No. And stakeholders here for me would be the citizens of the country.
Right, of which your prime minister is afraid to approach the people in an amicable way and have a conversation with them with whatever.
But how could you be afraid to approach the people when you are put there by them?
He say he hate when people second guess he.
Oh, so what you name so?
Okay.
Who he?
He hate to be second guessed.
According to Slane, who he, where he come from.
Why?
What happened to he?
To make it go so. Yeah, no, on a serious basis, because they should have from the beginning reached out to the people. You see how quiet all of them be on November 1st? Eh?
Yeah, me listen.
Nobody hear from them. People may ask what happened to Gaston Mouth.
I remember he never show up at the airport now.
No.
He didn't show up. Now, the government now has no formal system through which asylum can be sought.
I just read that.
Yeah, you're reading that.
Yeah.
So the question me ask, since they say about asylum seekers and they grant this and grant that and grant this and grant that, what avenue they may plan for you to legalize hundreds of people?
There's none, and they have to go to the House. Then I will convene Parliament, my brother.
The one where me sitting in?
Yes, in order to get this set up, because if they, according to the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and other international organizations for migration and humanitarian organization in assisting refugees and asylum seekers, in Antigua, the law does not provide for the granting of asylum and refugee status, and the government has not established a system for providing protection for that. So what are they going to do? with all the different houses and trees and so forth that these people are staying in and under, how long you gather them up for give them status?
So I ask a question. Zizi. When them a lie then or them a lie now? Cowell so them a lie both times.
So they lie twice.
So everything they come out them out they lie.
So with the explanation, it meant that they were proclamation that Melford give to the people and them need some sandpaper.
I think that Melford needs to save whatever little bit of integrity is left. And tap to the some left Max. I don't know Max.
Right.
We don't know
exactly
who Max is. You don't expect nothing tall else.
Because if one court can tell you,
yeah.
We don't charging you for perjury. You don't know.
Just let he alone. Let Max there, but Melford Jack, great senses. Now, the government, they were unwilling, or maybe even unable, to provide any kind of support to the citizens of this country during the COVID pandemic.
Correct.
They were unwilling to provide any form of stimulus for the citizens of this country.
Correct.
In the pandemic, plenty people still out of work. Some who are work, they're underemployed. People about murder still. Up to now, from the pandemic, and this government has offered nothing in terms of relief for the citizens. But all of a sudden, them can find resources.
25% worth. 25% worth.
Remember, the citizens of your country, you can't do nothing for.
Not a thing. Noodles. Outdated.
So, where the money come from to support these
asylum seekers?
911. Well, they say some gone back, so.
The asylum seekers?
Yeah. Where the resources gonna come from?
Where you gonna put them?
Remember, now I don't know them personally, so me don't even have any skills, trade, whatever. I don't know. Possibly they do. But how you gonna find meaningful employment for them when you can't find for the citizens of the country? What you gonna do? Displace other people?
Yes, you can be displaced, disenfranchised, thrown away, or dumped.
Oh, okay.
For me during the election, what's wrong with you?
Okay.
Right? You are for me during the election?
Now, they say they're going to arrange one charter flight to repatriate the Africans back to Nigeria. Right? Now, if Antigua Airways flights have been suspended as a result of all the nonsense they're going to carry on, all the irregularities that has come to light since the first flight in November, which airline they going to send them back on Liat?
Yeah, then so Liat would team up with the Antigua Airways.
Oh, you kill me.
No, it is such a damning serious and also dangerous situation where we are now faced with, right, a government that no cross it is that I and puts comma and full stop and whatever for them the doings. Because look when we face with no answer. They advertise big that they got Antigua Airways, and the responsible government would make sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, all the full stops are made, and the commas.
Here is a question, a thought-provoking one at least. Why are they now trying to regularize them instead of going the route they were going to give them asylum, because according to procedure, for them to seek refugee status, they have to make one claim.
Yeah.
In order for them to make a claim, or when they make one claim, that will trigger an investigation.
Correct.
But if you get a residency, there's no claim, no investigation.
You may have claims and objection in the election.
Well, they know. There's something too late. So
this one is...
So here the Kung Fu.
Yeah.
You can't bother go the asylum route. Remember, that is what they were saying at first.
Yes.
But they can't bother go the route, because in order for them to go the asylum route, they have to be claimed.
Correct.
You, the person applying for the asylum, have to give reasons why. And when that is done, it triggers an investigation.
So that means you can have an automatic amnesty? So
and then you have to get to the bottom, because up to now, Melford Nicholas, I hear somebody refer to him as Melford Ridiculous, but let me stick with Nicholas. Melford Nicholas has not said to the people of Antigua and Barbuda through the cabinet or the cabinet through he, who are the other people, the other players involved, unbeknownst to the government at the time, but because it cannot still be unknown.
Correct.
Impossible.
Yeah.
For an entity, anybody, any group, any individual, for being 3 charter flight that is creating so much hysteria, and nobody investigate it. Paperworks have to be filed.
Exactly.
Documents have to be signed. Who signed them? Who filed the paperwork? Who paid the landing fee? When they're coming up the Katrina, who says what?
Who get the order for them walk through?
Who picked them up? So you can't tell me in this little country about unknown. Unknown way to who? We stupid?
Not yet. Boy, I'm lost a couple words.
So, if they don't regularize them, remember then I had not told for help the citizens of the country, you know. But now you're going to regularize nearly 1,000 people. At what cost? If you were going to repatriate them,
how much are you going to cost?
What would the cost have been to the taxpayers of Antigua and Barbuda?
Everything is going to be for the tax.
Everything. Who you think I pay?
Everything.
You think I got to pay them?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So what is the cost to the taxpayers to repatriate them? Because my information is $1 million US for bring the plane here.
Okay, ask Marvelous Mike.
For bring the plane here.
Yeah, $1 million US to bring the plane here.
Somebody told me 2, but me stick with 1. A retired pilot, a retired engineer told me 2 million. That's what from all the way up there for come all the way down here.
Right.
You understand? Now me stick with 1, just for argument's sake. Leave it at 1. So what is it going to cost the taxpayers to repatriate them?
That's a question that is going to be left unanswered until questions to minister can be answered.
Yeah, but one of the selling points of Antigua Airways was that the country only stood to benefit from the profits.
Why
we had no hand in the liability of the airline.
So
that's the selling point they were using, Zizi. They were saying Antigua Airways, the country stood only to benefit from the profit. We had no hand in the liability.
So why we have to always give away plenty serpent in order to receive a little?
None at all. or received none at all.
History of the Gaston Brown administration. Go ahead.
So, no, the people need to ask this question too, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone are you how a representative.
Every single one of them.
Everyone are you out, yeah, how a representative. Ask the question. And those in St. George who ask me go ask on behalf of you. Again, the selling point of the Antigua Airways was that the country only stood to benefit from the profit. You're not going to get hurt from the liabilities of the airline. Its operations now were the government of Antigua and Barbuda and its people, investors.
So if the plane make quart and none of us share, what up?
Well, they'll be a benefit from the profit. If none of us share, then none of us share. But if the plane take one hit of 10,000,
oh boy,
it no matter me, because I know me. You understand?
Yeah.
Now you say you're going to make them legal. Where them go live?
That's the question me asked earlier.
Where them go live? Because they can't live in hotels and Barrymore and all them places you have them right now. They can't live there. And them who live in a container up the road by Johnson up there can't tap in there.
So what about where the Chinese left after they done build certain thing place?
Where the 900, well, some of them gone back, some can say 800. Where the 800 of them go live? And as Dotsy said in her piece, them they are now. You regularize them a send for picnic, wife, woman, man, mama, papa,
correct.
Nari, Tari.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the natural order of things. You go when you establish yourself, war till up there, you go while you picking them up there in that?
Nah.
Your wife up there, your husband up there? No. So them sure to follow next. Because but in the interim, where them 800 plus got up.
Man.
What is it going to cost us, the taxpayers of Antigua and Barbuda, to support them?
Whole heap of money.
But you know, some of them were held in Barbados.
Yeah, and them let them send back.
Some of them will go Barbados because Antigua again transshipment point. Some of them were held in Barbados.
Yeah, and them then when they send them
back, about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and when they send them back, they were the earpiece are the ones from Portugal come and pick them up and carry them away.
But he left go meet them.
Oh boy!
He left go meet them, and then I didn't know about them.
What is this with the here at all? So what you say, you get up on a flight and go over. Oh no! Oh no! Pearl, are we in trouble?
Very much so. Very much so.
Hot water.
What?
Hot water.
Pig does jump out hot water, you know?
And I want to encourage people to come out because a lot of persons have been saying to me, what y'all doing about the migrant trafficking scandal? Y'all need to hammer that. This is not good. I hope that we will see persons out there on the picket line on Tuesday, 9:30 on Queen Elizabeth Highway, where we're going to be picketing the Prime Minister's office. I hope we're going to see a lot of those people who have been saying that this is a big thing. They have serious concerns about this. I hope we're going to see them. It's just a little time. Even if it's just an hour you have to come, you can come and show your face and show that you are not in agreement with this thing. I mean, I don't understand Antigua people. They talk about these things, they're upset about it, but when the time comes
to stand up,
for them to stand up and show that they're upset, they have all kinds of excuses. Oh, I have to work. Oh, I can't come out. Oh, I work for government.
The fear factor.
Always something. What about your lunch hour? What about your lunch hour? Take your lunch hour early. Say, can I switch your lunch hour out? Whatever it is, and you come out. If you have on you walk with a change of clothes that you're not in the uniform of the company or whatever it is. If once you're there on your lunch hour, that's your time.
You can walk past too.
So I am hoping that persons will really come out and show their displeasure with this whole arrangement, wanting to regularize these people, because only God alone can tell me that this is not a ploy. Listen, this is out of the For Your Eyes Only handbook, you know. You realize that? They are just replacing the CARICOM nationals with Africans. It's out of the For Your Eyes Only playbook. That's the chapter where they say, you know, they will be loyal to you. Bring the people who are poor and they will be grateful to you. You see how they had them on there saying, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So they will vote for you.
May God bless you.
This is out of the For Your Eyes Only handbook.
Yeah, so they could not do it through the Caribbean region. The Caribbean people in the region are not.
Reject it.
Oh, okay. They reject the kind of move. So, in order to have, according to Pearl, that sort of thing coming in, they use the West African.
Listen, we have to be
by any means necessary.
Yeah.
By any means necessary.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing all over again. These people will stop at nothing. Nobody, if anybody really believed that the Antiguan officials were duped, something is wrong with them. If they really believe that, something is wrong.
But even when I look at it, even they felt that they were duped. Okay, what then do?
Nothing.
Since then, what have they done since then? Nothing.
Because they have the power within them to take an action to do something, but they do nothing. So how can we believe that they were duped?
And do we accept that? Well, this is incompetence at the highest level then. Indeed. If you are duped, then we have to be very concerned about your competence. That you can be duped like that at this kind of level that can have some, really gross ramifications for the country, for our international reputation.
You weren't duped once.
3 other times.
Twice. 3 times. 4 times.
And when you finish, you're talking about world-class leadership. When you finish, you're talking about competence, and you have been duped. I mean, listen, Antigua people, we need to get the country out of the hands of this administration.
15 people get duped.
If we are going to see good governance in this country, we cannot continue to allow the Labour Party to run this country.
It's quite evident that they have no interest in really running things right.
No, they don't.
By what you see happening.
Yeah, they don't. And there's another aspect to this, that nobody has spoken about. These people are open to exploitation by deviant persons here in Antigua. Because let me tell you, nobody knows. I don't think the immigration know where the people are. You have young women destitute here in Antigua, will do anything to survive. One of them approached my husband and literally begging him, saying, I want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. And he's telling her that he's married and that he said, I can still be your friend. So you're opening these people up to being used as prostitutes, being pimped, being used as sex slaves by some deviant, just to survive. You don't know where. I have heard of persons who are women who are living with Antiguans who are open to anything.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh my.
Verbosity. Yes. That's what you call that, verbosity.
So, Pearl, the mouthful that you just put on there.
No, I'm serious.
These people are for exploitation. They've been exploited already?
Yes, they're and they are open to even more exploitation. Can you imagine? Listen, there are people here, women, who they don't know the people who came on the plane with them.
Oh boy.
So if they go and live with somebody, they could be missing. Nobody, the immigration don't know where they are. Anything can happen to them, and they can be. It's far-reaching. Because they're desperate, they would do anything for money and to have somewhere to live. And then they now could be used. If suppose they decide, the woman say, well, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And they say, well, if you're not going to do that, you have to get out, or you beat them, or the abuse comes in. After the abuse, maybe they're missing. Nobody know that they're even missing. Nobody knows. They could be killed, buried somewhere. Nobody know. And people might think that's far-fetched, but it is not.
There's no true account.
It is not. Exactly, because we don't know who they are, how many are still here, where they are staying. People are just trying to find places to stay.
Good afternoon.
The God.
Hi.
Yes.
My problem is this: I don't hear you all calling enough for a national inquiry.
Oh yes.
Like that man saying we vote for them. Yeah, we vote for them. But this thing happened. We need to know why it happened. They're admitting that it was not right. I think we need a national inquiry. This is serious matter, bringing people among us who I don't have nothing against the Africans, don't get me wrong. I remind if they end up. We need a national inquiry to find out how does this happen. So if it happens next week again, it's all right.
Yeah,
Carla, but
public inquiry.
If we are to go with the narrative that, as they say, they are duped and we're not satisfied with it, and then we out here we think that they're well aware of what's going on. So if that is
you're going a bit too convoluted for me. Listen to me, sweetie. Rules have been broken.
Yep. Laws.
Indeed.
The country have been compromised. And it is not right. It is a serious matter. It's national security. We're not talking about somebody thief $5 million, which Antigua people seem to think it's all right. Wait, you need to listen to me. This is national security. It don't only affect us. It affects the tourists. It affects the people visiting here. It affects the non-nationals and people of European and other descendants living here, including us. We need a national inquiry.
May I speak?
If they're admitting that all these things went wrong, we need to know why and how to make it right so it don't happen again.
Yeah, but
period.
What I'm saying
all
is
of this discussion is annoying me. All of this discussion is irritating because all of this doesn't matter. What matters is to have a national inquiry.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Is this the first time that we've had issues that affect us nationally? And what has been done? They're not going to investigate.
I am not looking back, and I am not going back.
But it's the same Labour Party.
I am going on this, and this is a step up from what happened. Like I said, this is not somebody thieving some money.
But it's the same Labour Party.
You need to listen to me. This is bringing people into this country who we don't know who they are. And we need to know who they are, where they came from, and we need to hear their stories. We need to hear the government stories, and we need to find out where we went wrong.
The fact of the matter is, they are in charge.
It's like you're arguing with me. I don't understand why you're saying that. They have admitted that there was something that... You need to listen, sweetie. They have admitted that something went wrong. Our national cry right now should be nothing less than a national inquiry.
I agree.
That's it.
Yeah, but you think they're going to...
That's it.
You think that they're going to accede to what
I don't care what's going to happen. We need to have it. We owe it to the international international community. We owe it to ourselves, and we owe it in the interest of good governance. And that's where you start, because all the other stuff is only hearsay. And the people outside looking at us and say, "What a bunch of stupid people."
Yeah.
You think in Barbados or any place they wouldn't have a national inquiry to find out what happened?
Yeah.
We need to know what happened.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's just a bunch of talking, and quite frankly, I'm sick of it.
So we're going to see you at the picket because we're going to be having
You always see me at the picket. I'm always at the picket. I don't know if I'm going to come to this one because I'm that agitated.
Okay, so now's the time.
That's the reason why you should come out.
Come with your placard and say public inquiry because that's what we've been calling for.
I'll come to the picket. That's just me talking off now because I'm so angry.
I know,
I'm not angry because
you're absolutely right.
Don't get me wrong.
We need a public
angry
inquiry.
Because we're satisfied to the international world, to everybody outside Antigua. We are looking as though we're satisfied with this incompetence. And it's not right.
No.
Where did you get that impression that we're satisfied?
You need to listen more and talk less. Very little I've heard for National Inquiry. I heard about all kind of stories about who said what, who did what, how things went wrong. What we need is a national inquiry.
But you're clamoring
and
for
the
it.
international community is looking. The international community is looking for us to say that, despite the fact that we may have voted for a government that we know is not good for us. That's neither here nor there. We need an international inquiry. Otherwise, we're condemning ourselves.
Yes.
Period.
I agree with you.
Okay.
So bye. Okay, dear. So no, I agree with the lady for the absolutely. I have been saying so, and we are going to do what is necessary. I also agree with Bass that after the protest, we need, and with Saku, after the protest, we need to follow up with whatever is legally necessary to get the government to accede to a public inquiry. No, they may or may not, but we have to do what we need to do to press them to have it. So if I agree with him, with Bass, maybe we need to get signatures, if a petition with signatures for a public inquiry. Because some persons may not be able to come out to the protest, but they would be in agreement, and we can get those out and then present that to the Governor General. Maybe that will push the envelope and cause him to act. But whatever it is that needs to be done, we need to do it. Because I absolutely agree that there needs to be a public inquiry. And we're not going to just leave it like that after the protest. I can assure you that we are going to do something to push the situation forward.
Yeah, of course. We need to get that particular thing out there because me not lie. With all them breach, law broke.
Yeah.
And all kind of something that happened with this, this Antigua Airways. Brother, it needs a step.
And you listen to my discourse this afternoon.
Of course, that's why you raise all those points in order for people to be aware.
And I need another petition, picket, nothing. Just take that recording this afternoon.
Rodney Des.
Rodney Des. Carry the recording from this afternoon. Carry some Rodney Des. But there are times in life, especially in this field that we're in. You have a step up, man.
Of course.
Because we know. One, Gaston Brown naga accede to inquiry. Two, Rodney don't have the balls to do what he's supposed to do by law. He has the right. Only he can constitute an inquiry. But he not gonna do him.
But we can still call for it, and we can still do what is necessary.
Remember what you
say. This thing here, this African situation here, those are this is Nigerian, because I guarantee plenty of them come to Cameroon. This whole something needs serious investigating.
Absolutely.
And their words are what's gonna bury them. Melford said after they came in with their something. Then some unknown copycat, whatever the case may be, came and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Before him, I had this queued up for the idiot that called earlier, but
somebody rained on their parade, as you were saying.
Before him, but he said people rained on parade. Before him, though, Alejandro did an interview and said something completely different. I'm going to pull up his interview and we're going to play back a little bit of it. But in the meantime,
that before tickets will be sold to you to go to Antigua, number one, you must have a valid transit visa or connecting flight that is taking you to your next destination. Also, you must have booking of your accommodation before landing you in Antigua. You know what they did? Most of them went to all this hotel.com and just book. In fact, one of them booked Jumbibi. And I was asking the person this morning, in fact, not only one person, I said, do you have $2,000 to pay per night? He said, hey, I didn't know that. He said, so. But moreover, what we got to know, most of the .com booking they've done was cancelled, but they didn't know before they even arrived here. So it put Antigua Airways and those of us who is trying to assist in a different shape. That is why we started to look for where to put to them. And thank God we got good information as to where rooms or spaces are available. Even some of the taxi drivers who came this morning to do some assistance, because a lot of them have this hotel.com in their hand, which is not valid. But the information they've received from the ticketing agencies that they must have a valid, confirmed, paid hotel before they will be allowed to pay ticket. But they brought in so much of false information as to, oh, we have booked this, we have booked that, we have this, and this is my ticket. In fact, they were also informed that nothing short of $1,000 US must be with them before arrival into Antigua. So a lot of due diligence were already done around them through the agency who are assisting to sell tickets and other activities around them. But you know, some of us as human beings, we always want to find means to get away with a lot of things. And that really frustrated me to this morning. That is why I started making so much call to different places, different homes, different establishments that I know could accommodate them. And then we got a win as to the one you are talking of in New Wintrops. And the person or the owner just came on board to say, look, I have so number of rooms. I can accommodate like 50, 60 people. So just bring them. And that is why we started chauffeuring them down to New Winthrop and so many other areas, you know. And I was so disgraced too, like I will tell you, I was disgraced in terms of that these people will be landing with false information that they have hotel book when they don't have no hotel booking. So he gave us not a good image, not even Antigua Airways and all those of us.
You're saying that situation, because that's what two people did say to me, that they had booked, but whatever avenue they had used to book ultimately was not reliable. And so their booking
was not reliable, and it was false, and it was false information. I agree with you.
So is it that there's a particular site? Is it, you said something about hotels.com? Is it there's a site?
A lot of them went to hotel.com or all this kind of .com for booking accommodation in various countries or tourist countries like Antigua and Barbuda.
So essentially just saying they went. Essentially saying a number of them used websites that weren't very reputable to try and book accommodation.
No, they were reputable, but they did do the booking, but they never paid. So most of the bookings were cancelled within the shortest periods of time. They went to reputablehotel.com and all this .com. You understanding me? So from the first day they enter into it, the generation of information was generated to them, and they printed that as something that is genuine. But not knowing it's not genuine.
Paid to secure the booking.
Yes, exactly. Just to show that, hey, I have booking, and this is my booking. This is so. They never pay for no booking, and that is why ticket was sold to them, because they brought in to the people over there, and they too don't know the difference. You can imagine somebody coming to Antigua and telling you, and he's not so rich to that level that he cannot even pay $60 a night booking Jumbi Bay, bringing paper to say I book Jumbi Bay, I book Siboney Hotel, I book Buccaneer Hotel that are $300-400 US a night. Okay. So it shows to you they don't even know the difference of what they are doing. That really creates a jeopardy, or how will I call it this morning. And that's why it's good I was there. It's good as a good friend, as a good lover of my people. I swung into calls. I'm making calls here and there that early morning hour, waking up people from their bed. And we were able to secure some good number of rooms here and there. And some of the taxi and buses that came to airport, they too were able to assist us to say, look, I know so and so, I will take them down there. They have rooms. And that is how we're able to, because I was so curious that we will love to move people before the sunrise in Antigua from the airport so that we can clear the airport.
Gotcha.
And thank God we did that. That was done within the frame. So it's not the fault of Antigua Airways. It's not the fault of any people. I think our people who want to travel to whatever destination or whatever areas of their livelihood need to be more sincere that this part of the world, credibility of information is highly valued, and they expect instructions and information that is given to them, not to just give us falsehood information just because they want to travel, they want to buy ticket, and they want to move to the next level of their life. Antigua Airways, they are good friends and they are good colleagues of mine. I am in no other way associated with them as an employee or in form of any other area. They don't pay me salaries. I have no other joint venture with them than that I'm one of the people who will have introduced them to do business in Antigua, and that why we have done that is to foster development between Antigua and Nigeria, and that is where my connection lies with Antigua Airways owner and Antigua Airways itself. Anything short of that, I have no other affiliation in respect to being employed or working for them. I think it's always very good to give educational information, to be precise, to be correct, and to have detailed information as to situation of things that is happening around and in Antigua and Barbuda. I was at the airport this morning. I got the information that the flight will be coming in. I was there as an Antiguan citizen, as a Nigerian, as an African, as whatever you want to call it. I went in to give my assistance as usual to make sure that things go well, that things is in normal, to make sure that we all have a good face, as that is the first port of entry to Antigua and Barbuda. And because of my friendship and relationship that I've said before too with the Antigua Airways. And that was all what happened this morning, and I believe I've done a good job to assist Antigua and Barbuda, to assist the Antigua Airways, and to assist the Africans that come in as brothers and sisters from various areas of Africa. You have them from Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Mali, from Ghana, from Somalia, from all areas. I'm so surprised today that we have a mini continent of Africa that landed today in Antigua. This is not just Nigerian or people from just West Africa. You have them across the whole African continent that came in this morning. And based on information reaching me, as from tomorrow, which is going to be Wednesday, some of them are already transiting off to Antigua because they are only here. In fact, 99% of them are only here on transit. Only few ones who have already gotten visa to already come into Antigua and getting the wings of the Antigua Airways that, hey, this is a direct flight, and they came on board. But majority of them, I would say they are transit tourists who are just transiting in Antigua to move on to the next level of their life, you know. So this is just what is taking place. And I'm very so shocked and surprised for people to be writing false information that I've been using my vehicle to chauffeur the African. And even if I do, they don't even know if I have families on board, and which I have my right to, if my families are on board, to chauffeur them to my home. So, but for them to misinterpret this information is total false. And also, they say some of these Africans to putting on next level. Come on, let's be realistic. Let's stay fair. They just came in 2 a.m. Where did they get this next level from? Who gave it to them? These people have been so tired flying for over 9 hours. None of them have this t-shirt on. None of them even know who is what political party is on the ground, or even if we are having election. None of them is aware of all this. So I am just very shocked, if I have to use that particular word, to see, you know, the information that is being passed on through the social media that, oh, and this truck government number is there. Yes, my truck was there. I was there around 1 a.m. to 1:30 awaiting the flight, and I parked my car in the right place that it should be parked, awaiting the flight to land. And I didn't move my car until almost 9 a.m. this morning from the airport, if I'm very correct, between 8:30 to 9. So where do I use my truck to chauffeur, you know, the Africans? It's all false.